everyone. I'm so
Hi,
excited.
everybody.
Money, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's really nice to be back with you today.
Yeah, it's nice for me to have you too today. So, hi everyone. If you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, so welcome back to my channel. If you're familiar with the channel, welcome back. If you're not familiar with the channel, we're glad to have you here today. My channel, we talk about spirituality, all the emotional stuff, people pleasing, needing external validation, all the spiritual stuff that not a lot of people in the community talk about. So, as long as it's legal, we can talk about it right here. Right, Manny?
Yes.
Okay, so today's topic. So before we start, I want to say that if you have questions or you want to write something in the comment section in the chat, so go ahead and do it, even if you're watching the replay, and we'll be doing our best to answer your questions. So today's topic: are you feeling anxious? Find how to find your inner peace right now. Okay, so you know what, Money? Nowadays, many of us we live with a constant sense of anxiety, right? And it's like always there. Always there's always something to worry about, right? And everything around us is designed to keep us in fear, right? The news and the social media or
Hmm.
whatever, and they always said, "Oh, you need to be more. You have to just have more, like more, right? You always need to be on the go, right? And you know what? And with time, we start to think that it's normal, right? To live with this constant sense of tension, but actually it's not. And we are meant to live like harmonious life and not to live in survival mode most of the time, right? And we're meant to feel like grounded and connected and in a sense of peace. So what do you think about this topic, Moni?
Oh, this is another big one. And this was just like learning patience. This was a hard one for me to learn because it sounds so ridiculously simple. And I'm like thinking, nah, there's no way that this is the answer. Like, you're serious. This is all it takes. And the answer is yes. And before you go and say, I don't have time for this, I'm going to tell you you do. It's not going to, it'll take 30 seconds to a minute,
Yeah.
as we will discuss. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
actually, this
Continue.
actually you touch on it, and actually, when you, it's like a paradox. When you start to practice, you will start to feel like you have more time. It's like a crazy paradox. Okay, so,
Yes.
so how do you change it, right? So in this live, we're going to talk about simple steps that you can take to release this sense of anxiety and to find relief, right? So
Yes.
before we start, I have a question for you. Just take a moment and notice how are you feeling right now? Just notice. Okay, and we will ask this question again at the end of this live and we'll see if there's something different. Okay, so anxiety is actually more common when you think when we more common than we think because a lot of people think that anxiety, oh, it's only me. Like something is wrong with me. I'm the only one that feel like anxious and whatever, right? But you know what? A lot of people they have a tendency to pretend that everything is okay, right? How are you doing? No, I'm fine. I'm good. Like everything is cool. And inside of them, they're like having like a lot of like panic attacks and
Yeah.
anxiety. And and we think that we are the only one like having those experiences, and we feel like maybe sometimes sense of shame even to share it with someone, right? Before because like oh there's something wrong. I'm not supposed like I see everyone like happy and smiling and on social media or whatever. Like people pretend that everything is cool and everything is fine, but it's not really like that, right? So what do
No.
you think, Money?
Okay. So, a good analogy to keep in mind with this thing
Mm-hmm.
is, when you drive a car and you have your little side view mirror, and there's a little note usually on the bottom of that side view mirror that says objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah.
So, things are not always as they appear. People who appear to have it all together without having done this inner work are really good at giving off the vibe maybe
Exactly.
that they've done it, but they're really inside they're just a big old mess and they're trying to keep up.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's again, this is going to be ridiculously simple. It's going to sound absolutely dumb.
Yeah.
It works though.
Yeah, so before we go to the technique, so why is actually anxiety? Anxiety is your body response to your mind and your thoughts, right? And usually 99% is from your mind because anxious and anxiety, when we feel anxious, is from we're thinking too much about the future, about what's going to happen. What if things that we don't even have control over right now, or when we think about the past, sometimes when we think about the past, it's a sense of guilt or a sense of shame, right? So
Right.
so when you so your emotions and the physical sensation that you experience is just a response of your body to your mind and your thoughts, right? So it's perfectly normal, right? So okay, so I wanted to touch on something, Mane. You know what? I yesterday I usually don't watch a lot of TV, but I saw the I did Master Chef
Mhm.
generations, right? So they take few generation, which generation cooks the best. And yesterday it was about the Gen Z, all right? So it's like 20 and more, and they're like literally the TikTok generation. They're like literally like they came into this world with the phone in their
In their
hand.
hand. Yep. Yep.
And you know what? I've noticed that a lot of people said something that it was really like few of them say the same thing. They said, you know what? Yeah, we are from the Gen Z, right? Before everyone in TikTok, they're successful or whatever. So it's our job to prove that we are worthy. We want to receive this validation. We have to prove ourselves, right? They like the constant like anxiety about them proving themselves and they're not good enough. And this is just they said it all, right? This generation with all the social media and the comparison. So anxiety is really, unfortunately, it's really common. And a lot of people don't even like have shame even to talk about it because they think that everyone's lives is like happy and smiling and rainbow and sunshine because they see all the stories or whatever, right, on Instagram. So this is what's going on, right?
It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
We're all just getting from where we are to where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So okay. So let's get down to business. Okay. So I don't know what there are simple techniques that you can use to feel less anxiety. Is money? I will because you're so like you just recently discovered it, and I let you talk from your own experience about what you want to say.
So usually I'm a pretty high energy person and my brain just never stops
Mhm.
going and it overthinks basically everything. And so I am learning not to let it run so completely rampant and wild.
Mhm.
Um, but I was up in Canada visiting my family for Canadian Thanksgiving, and they live about 5 minutes away from a park
Mhm.
that borders onto a beach on one of the Great Lakes.
Okay.
And I took a walk from their place on down, and I just remember walking past all of these beautiful tall trees against a crystal blue sky with no clouds in it whatsoever. And there was this breeze that came off the water from the north, and it brought the smell of these fallen leaves, and it reminded me, oh my gosh, autumn has a smell to it that I completely forgot. And then you smell the wind coming off the freshwater lake, and I'm all of a sudden now I'm listening and I'm getting anchored in this moment, and I'm noticing my brain is no longer racing because now it's
Right.
anchored in the now. And I just remember coming out of that experience going, oh my gosh, I am so much calmer now that my brain is not just blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah,
So what did you do exactly? Can you like describe? to
It
the
was
audience what they can
so
do?
Yeah, so it's if you have, the racing thoughts that won't stop, or you're barely listening to somebody talking because your brain is in its own little world having its conversation and you're not paying attention. Finding something that's in that environment for you to focus on, to pay attention to, brings you into that moment. And the more things that you can use your senses to
Yeah,
explore brings you into that moment and anchors you there. So in
yeah,
this instance, for me, it was the smell that caught my attention, that brought my head up to where I noticed this beautiful sky. And I'm hearing the waves on the beach, and I'm listening to the crunch of the gravel as I'm taking my footsteps, and I'm noticing all of these
yeah.
things bringing me into that moment and
So
having me stay there.
using your five senses. I actually did a short yesterday about it, like using your five senses, because like when you touch something, it brings you, it's like an anchor to the present moment, because you can touch something yesterday or you can touch
Correct?
something tomorrow, right? When
Exactly.
you touch something and you focus on this thing, you have to be present. You have to be present, and things that anxiety comes from your mind. Hello, Rich. Hello, everyone. Yes, energy, energy, energy. Everything is energy.
That's
Okay, good
it.
to see you. Yeah, and you know what? And so, since all our problems and mostly anxiety comes from our mind, and you know why, Marnie, we'll get to it later, why the mind can't really cope with thinking about the future. We'll get to it in a little bit, but right now I want us to do like a little grounding technique. So everyone listen, it's like really nice. Okay, so I call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Okay. Hey Rich, hey, good to see you. Good to see everyone. If you have questions, so go ahead and ask questions. Okay, so we're going to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Okay, so notice five things you see. Okay, four things you touch. Okay, three things you hear. Two things you smell, and one thing you can taste. So, how do you feel right now? Yeah. How do you feel
Sorry.
right now? This is like really simple.
Hmm.
So what we actually did, we took our attention and our focus and we put it in the like all the sensory perception, right? And this is really like force us to be present and to be in the present moment. And when you are present, your attention, it's not like on the spiral thoughts you have in your mind, right? So, and you
Exactly.
feel like a sense of peace. So, even if it's just for 2 seconds, but if you do it like over and over again, day in, day out, gradually you will shift your energy in the most like fundamental way, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now taking that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 aspect
Mm-hmm.
and using it with uh with your focused breathing. Um, just yes, that is the exercise that just takes 30 seconds to 45 seconds. It'll be less than a minute, but it
Okay.
brings you a sense of calm. It slows time down. It brings your system the needed release and peace that it needs in order to
And
be
you
able
know
to
what? And you
function
know what? While
optimally.
we're doing it, our conscious mind, like, no, 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 no. What are you doing? Are you wasting your time on those like stupid techniques? Like, because our mind can sense that you're going to like override it, right? Like
That's
it's
the
saying,
ego.
yeah, that's the
Uh-huh.
ego. The people like feel it wants to die. Yeah, like which is saying channeling the energy of thoughts. Exactly. Because your attention, I glad you said it, because your attention is like a fuel to your thought.
Yep.
So if you're going to put your attentions on your thought, you're going to fuel it, right?
Yes.
And what I wanted to say earlier, why is the mind can really cope with why are we experiencing anxiety, and the mind really can't handle thinking about the future, because like the mind is designed to cope with what is sees or experience right now. So if you are thinking about what is going to happen about the future, the mind is like, you know what, like Limor, I can't really do anything about it right now. So why are you like future project about the future? I can't really,
Yep.
and think about it. A lot of the time, when we like, let's say you are about to experience something new that you never did before, right? So you think about it like, and you won't sleep at night, and you're like, oh my god, what if how is it going to happen? And you know what, and you feel like all this anxiety, and once you actually do it, you feel like, and you know what, it wasn't like this, like, so I was it will I thought it will be like worse, right? It wasn't like that. It was like okay, right? So it's our mind before the things happens, our mind is going to, oh my god, this is going to happen, and what if, and what if, and what if, and once you actually do it, because you actually in this moment can experience and you have control over it, so it's way easier, right? So the future projection, actually, they are the worst, because you can't really do anything about it. And I'm not saying that you don't need to prepare, like let's say you're going to have a speech or something on stage. I'm not saying that you don't need to prepare yourself. And also, we need to stop with the future projects and, oh, what if it's not going to work out, or what if it's that going to happen. And you know what, I have a question for you. What if it's going to turn out better than you thought?
When you detach from
Yeah.
that. Like,
What?
so your ego is trying to plan out for every single eventuality that you may face, and that really taxes your system. And here's the thing so it's the ego's job, it's the mind job to keep you alive, right? But the problem with that is, like you said, the brain doesn't think from that standpoint, sort of thing. So mindfulness, the release and the detachment and the trust comes with flow. Basically, it's when you stop fighting against what could be, you start accepting and opening yourself up for what is and what will be,
Exactly.
instead of wasting your time for it. So again, mindfulness and doing these things and anchoring yourself and training yourself in the moment lets that ego mind know that it's not in control. Like,
Yeah.
you've attained an age now, you can pretty much guess of what's going to be happening in a situation, and you're not going to be really stressed about it, right?
Yeah. And you know what? And what is mindfulness? It's the ability to be present and to absorb what's going in this moment right now without judgment. That it's
Exactly.
mindfulness. Just to be aware, just to be the witness of your thought, the witness of what's going on, right? And if you having like trouble of doing it, so just anchor in, just use your five senses. Because like when you touch something, when you put your focus on something, you just notice, you know what? You can't, even if you want to think like something, in this split second, you're not going to have any thoughts, because you took your attention, which is the fuel, and you like Ruth said, like you're channeling like to another place, right? And another thing that you can do, so you can use the five sentence, move your body, because emotions is created by motion, right? So if you feel anxiety, you can, whatever, you can like put music and start dancing, or just to take a walk for 5 minutes, or whatever, right? So do you
Yep.
have more things that money that you did that helped
I
you?
did. Yeah. So obviously, so where I live now, it's quite warm and humid. It's Florida.
Yeah.
Being up in Canada, the weather was it was cooler, it was less humid, and I got basically kind of self-encouraged to like, "Oh my gosh, I'm visiting home." And I used to love walking down in the park and on the trails, so, okay, like, it's a nice day out, let's go do that. And I felt more encouraged to get outside. Now, when you get outside in nature, again, nature doesn't have anxiety.
Right.
That's something
Nature
that's just a
has
us
a
thing.
high frequency.
Yeah. So being out, breathing the air, noticing these things, walking under trees, picking up rocks on a beach, sort of
Mhm.
thing. Like all of these things are so they're provided by nature for our benefit, for us to be able to just go out in nature and release and exchange all of this built up energy that we get from all of these electronic devices and
Right.
this external pressure and stimuli, and be able to release it and be present in that moment. And when you come back from those things, like that's why you start feeling like $1,000,000.
Yeah, you know what? I read in a book. I think it's The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. She's the one that wrote The Secret.
Oh,
So
yes.
you can go. There is a quote from someone. I don't know who is it. You can get up in the morning and go out for a walk, and when you come back, you are a completely different person, and it's true, right? So we just say,
Yes.
I always.
Choked on humidity every time I got to Florida. Right there with you. Been doing it for 21 years.
Yeah, and you know what? Something that you told me, Moni, like you told me, like I think it's yesterday or today. Oh, you know what, Limor? When I was in Canada, like it was cool and it was great, and I feel like I left part of myself there, and I was so present. And now I'm back,
Mhm.
like in Florida or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? That's another thing, and we all do it. We have a story in our mind that we have to, oh, only when I be like in out of the nature or whatever, or disconnected from the human species, right? Or like when I'm going to be like isolated, then I can allow myself to be present and to practice the things or whatever. You know what? It's like meditation. I think that Eckhart Tolle once said that, we think that if we sometimes we meditate and people like interrupt us and like that, how dare you like call me when I'm in doing this meditation or knocking on my door or whatever, right? But no, like the core things of meditation and like being present and mindful is the ability to do it under any circumstances, right? And you know what? Even more so to do it like in a crowded place and stuff, because it this contrast really help you to find your anchor, and to you allow yourself to be the source rather than to be your environment to affect you, right? And it's a practice, right? So even if like in a crowded place, like you can like close your eyes for a minute and like take a deep breath and whatever, like I'm okay, right? And the world doesn't exist.
It
Yeah.
does. So I like he's saying humidity is like an envelope in Florida. That is also very true. However, I have observed that, especially in summer in Florida, because it is so hot and humid, you actually need to chew the air before you inhale it. But so now that I know this, having had anxiety that started, very young. There are people that don't know who they are without that anxiety. They're so used to being with it. And I have been one of those people. And it's been
Yeah.
a process to start to learn that I am okay without the anxiety. I can survive without it.
Yeah. It's
When
like
you have it for so long, you need to learn that you are who you are
right, because
without it.
it became your sense self identity, right?
Mhm.
And who are you? Like I think it's like Tola said it. Who are you without this, right? This is like a label that like you took this label on you, and you
You
didn't even
created it for yourself.
Yeah, and they didn't even like questioning it. Yeah, they told me I ADHD, so this is how I am, right? Yeah, exactly. That's alignment right there. Right. Yeah, what you just
Ding,
did.
ding, ding.
And I'm not saying that it is so. Just like talk about anxiety. What are you going to experience when you have anxiety? You're going to experience that. I feel it like in my stomach, like a pit in your stomach, right? And you
Hmm.
feel
Yep.
like something you are choking, right? In your throat that you want to cry and you can't let it out, right? And you feel like your chest, your heartbeat, right, is way faster, and your chest is going to, you feel like heaviness in your chest, right? There's a lot of things, and all of it is like, and there's like a lot of panic attacks, right? A lot of panic
Hmm.
attacks. And we think that something is wrong with our body, but it's just our mind. And you know what, Moni? I read something about people that dealing with depression, and they make like a research, and people that are dealing with depression, and they found that really the cause, it's them focusing more and more, and a lot of about negative stuff
Hmm.
and negative emotion, and about what's wrong in their lives, or like, or like they have like a sense of, and I'm not judging, right? I'm just want to bring awareness to this, because we all been there at some point, right? When we have like anxiety or panic attack or depression, so they have like a lot of a sense of like victimhood, like life did me wrong, and so it's,
But not being aware that that
yeah, yeah,
that the answer, the solution for that is literally it's right inside themselves. It's taming, it's taming this. And it's going to take time. The first few times that you try it, you're going to feel dumb because,
yeah,
oh, like you want me to breathe to a count of what? You want me to breathe in and out? Like, shocker, I do that without thinking about it. But
yeah,
it's consciousness, it's mindfulness, it's, it's learning to take this back for yourself.
yeah,
And and it's going to be like a muscle, you're going to need to exercise it so it becomes proficient, and pretty soon it's going to be second nature. And you're going to look at other people who are having,
right,
anxiety or panic attacks, and you're going to be able to say, like, oh my gosh, I remember I was exactly like that until I learned how to slow down
right,
and be mindful and
right,
be anchored in the moment.
right.
So
Okay, so she's saying, Limor, I need to book a session with you this weekend if you got time. Yeah, of course, of course. You know how to contact me, right, Rich? Okay, so yeah, and Rich, you're the number one fan of this channel, so thank you. We appreciate you.
very much so.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and you know what? And sometimes when if anxiety is really persistent, sometimes we need to seek professional help, right?
Yep,
Sometimes,
don't be afraid to seek professional help. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you.
right?
And people are afraid of that because they don't want to be singled out. They don't want to be different. They're like, if everybody else can handle it, then I'll handle it too any way
And
I
you know what?
can.
Even the coach, even like the best spiritual teachers, they need it too, right? Because
Exactly.
just having the opportunity to talk about it, and just to let it out. And that's another thing, Mani, that I wanted to talk about. I really adore it about thank you, Rich. Yeah, I really adore it about little children, the way they express emotions, and they move from one emotion to the others, like in seconds, right? They can cry, and like a minute after it, they can like laugh, or they just let themselves. They're like little like sponges, and they're like vessels. They're like vessels with no resistance, right? They're just letting
Yeah.
all the emotions go through. Oh, I want to cry, I want to shout, I want to. And I wish that we are as adults learn. It's more to unlearn the, oh, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't, to unlearn all this BS, right?
Yeah.
and to let yourself express yourself freely. So I'm not saying that you need to have a tantrum in the middle of the supermarket, right?
You
But
can if you want to, but I mean, there are consequences to your choice.
yeah, but expressing yourself freely, you know, it or if you want to express yourself or like to say someone something to someone, like you want to say something from it, it's a little bit like judgmental or something, or something that is on your one or on man or like weighing on you. You're like, oh, you know what? If I'm going to tell him more, maybe she's going to be offended. And like, I don't mind, like, start to. And when I was just like a little child, like, no, 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 what are you doing? And you know. So I'm not saying to not be respectful, right? And also just let yourself like express yourself. And there are so many ways that you can express yourself, even if it's just talking to someone, even if just journaling, right? Even just you can,
Journaling's good. Yeah.
yeah, like talking to yourself, like even talking to your higher self, to God, to the universe, to whatever. Just express yourself. Yeah, you wanted to say something, Moni?
Oh, I was just saying what you were covering is like there's a you pick up small habits tend to gain big momentum uh when you practice them, and so journaling, you know, like you said, tossing on some music in your house and just dancing like nobody's watching, that kind of freedom becomes it's your own type of therapy. It's not an
Right,
escape, it's getting yourself in the moment and getting yourself used to having time, putting yourself in that moment every single day. Now, we were talking yesterday actually how once you get over the initial feelings of like, this is dumb, this is not going to work for me, when you find out how calm you feel in that mindful moment,
right,
that becomes it is so good for you to shut your brain off and let your body let everything reset by being anchored in that moment. That's going to be something now that you're going to want to start incorporating several
right,
times throughout your day while you're getting your control back.
right.
So
And Rich is saying a dentist cannot pluck out his own tooth, right?
he can try. It's going to
Yeah.
be awfully tough.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do like a breathing exercise, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to, okay. So Mani, are you up to it?
Oh,
I'm
definitely.
going to guide
Yes.
you, okay? Okay. So just feel more comfortable. Like take a moment, find
Mm,
your center for a moment. Okay. So inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. Let's do it again, one more time. Inhale
mm,
for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8.
mm.
So, how do you feel?
Slowed down, not not so rushy sort of thing. But yeah, it's interesting. Yes, we all breathe really without thinking about it, but pairing that mindfulness in with your breath and just focusing on that, amazing.
And you know what? And we talked about it yesterday. Sometimes the body has its own like techniques to heal yourself without you even trying. Let's say we talked about it yesterday about tears. Sometimes when you feel like, emotional or whatever, and you don't even want to cry, and all of a sudden you start crying, right? Because it's like the body has its own like mechanism to make you, to force you let all these emotions out in the form of tears, right?
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yes.
After you have like a good cry, you feel so much better and you feel so relieved, right? So why is that? Because you let it all out.
So here we were talking about yesterday about, just all of a sudden out of the blue, just, you get this feeling of melancholy, or you get a sadness, and you're encouraged. Basically, it's your body helping to expel that stored up emotion by crying. And we're talking about how tears, basically, so it helps tears help the body expel strong emotions. It's emotions that are too big for us to completely contain. And when a good example of that is last month, when I had to um, send my eldest dog over the Rainbow Bridge. Now, when I got the news that she was not going to be a candidate to be able to be healthy again, of course, I made the best decision for her and being able to let her go. But for 4 hours before we actually went to that appointment, I was crying, like ugly sobbing. And I realized, like, okay, the sadness is still there, but the tears help us to expel this excess emotion in order to be able to alleviate the stress on the body from those big strong emotions. So there's sentience in tears. It's taking that emotion and removing it from the body.
Right.
So I'm super concentrated.
Yeah, and you know what? In like within releasing trauma, because when like I experienced a lot of trauma, and like one big like experience that when I was in coaching school a few years ago, I had a coach myself. In order for me to get the certificate, I had to be coached also. And you know what? She told me, she like gave me a questionnaire, and then she told me, you know what, like write down like the two most like bad experience of your life. And one of them,
Mm.
I wrote about this trauma, and I really wanted to heal this trauma. And I woke up like, I tried to heal this trauma like for years, like, and like when I just look at it, and I'm like, you know what, she told me, "Okay, what do you think?" And I'm like, you know what, I never saw it on a paper before. And while I was just telling her that, I'm like, oh my god, I was sobbing for, I don't know, I think like 10 minutes straight, like all over in her clinic.
Yep.
And I'm like, I think I healed 90% of this trauma just by expressing it. And I said it in the other live. Healing happens in the presence of a compassionate witness. So just for you to have someone that you can, you know, express what you experience, and it's like a safe place and there is no judgment. So this is huge. This is huge, right? So the the really simple techniques to release anxiety is because most of our problems come from our mind, which is in the past or the future. It's really to drop into the present moment, and those techniques will help you to be present using your five senses, using your breath, right? And
Exactly.
take your focus and your attention and put it on the things that you see, that you smell, that you can touch. And those little shifts, like I promise you, in it will take you like few months to see the big shifts, but I promise you, if you just practice one thing every day, in like 2 3 weeks, you will start to feel different in your body, and a lot of the anxiety will be gone. And another thing that is really helpful for anxiety is being grateful and thankful, because I heard a quote, complaint is poverty. When
Yeah.
you're complaining about something, what actually you doing? You are noticing, and you are taking your attention and you put it on the stuff that don't work, right? And what you don't have.
What you're doing is you're creating a deficit,
Yeah.
basically. So,
And you know what? It's like there is a saying, and we'll do a live about like being grateful. I think there's a saying: when you are not giving thanks, when you don't give thanks, you take things for granted.
true.
So when you are grateful, you actually give thanks, right? And if you give thanks, it means that you are in a state of abundance, that you already have everything,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So this is another huge one. And this is, just go back to basics. When you feel like a lot of anxiety, go back to basics and start talking to yourself. One thing that I do, I really like touch myself, like Limor, like everything is going to be okay. You're okay. Because
Yep.
touch is a really grounding thing. When you like just touching yourself, it's really grounding. Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I always have, I've got something that's here that keeps me grounded. It's a lump of labradorite that I absolutely adore. But,
Yeah. Touch is a good thing.
that's the thing to touch. Mhm.
Yeah, so just when you experience anxiety, talk to yourself, calm yourself down, tell yourself, you know what, now, right now, you are safe. Nothing is happening right now, right?
Yeah, that was actually one of the affirmations I believe from Louise Hay was when she would find herself getting very anxious about stuff. It's, I am safe. I am safe. Like everything is working out for my highest good and I'm safe right now, so I don't need to worry. Yeah.
Right,
It's
right. And I wanted to say something. I forgot. Never mind.
well, and I know we're getting towards the end of our live here. I don't know where the time has gone. It's
Yeah, yeah.
as it
So
always does.
oh yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. I said it and I'm going to say it again because I'm going to brainwash people about it. Like Eckhart Tolle, he has a question in his book, The Power of Now. What problem are you having right now? Right now. Are you having any problems? Not 5 minutes from now, not 10 minutes from now, not tomorrow, right now. There are no problems. There are only situations to be dealt with,
That
right?
makes sense.
So if something happening in the present moment, it's not a problem. It's just something that you have to deal with in this present moment. But our minds want to create a problem, right?
To examine it from all angles to ensure
Yeah,
your survival. That's its job, but
yeah,
ultimately, nope. This is where you get to take back control of you and having
right.
it not run your life into the
So
ground with a
everything
whole
you
bunch
are
of
doing,
anxiety that you don't need.
yeah, these are, if you just look at those things, these are just an experiences. This is a challenge, or this is like something that I need to deal with right now, and not create a problem around it because problems don't exist. They are only situation to be dealt with. So this is I
That's good.
will
I like that.
yeah, this is something that I really love from the book The Power of Now. So just think about it. Are you having any problems right now? No.
Not right at this moment. Nope. But if you
Right?
stay in the moment, then
Yeah.
that's where the power is.
So now let's ask the question again that we asked at the beginning of this live. How are you feeling right now? Just notice.
Super awesome.
Yeah. So, Rich, thank you. I love and value this session. Thank you very much.
We
Thank
love
you,
and value you.
everyone. So if you didn't like catch the live, so you can catch the replay. Today we talked about anxiety and simple techniques to deal with anxiety. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We're having those lives like every week, right? And so if you have any questions, so don't be shy. Ask your question in the comment section, and we'll have to have you here next time. So thank you, everyone. We love you so much. We are so
Mwah.
grateful. Thank you for watching. And Mani, let's do our heart.
Because people love these. Back your hand up just a little bit. Stick out your thumb. Ta-da! There we go.
Thanks, everyone. Much love.
Mwah.
Love you.
Thanks. Bye.